Aloha, everyone. I'm Jason Schwartz, your host at the Neutral Zone. You're used to seeing me in a little studio there at KAKU 88.5 FM. The voice of Maui, simulcast on Akaku Maui Community Media, Channel 55, but mostly at MauiNeutralZone.com, where every show, including this show, has a full transcript and a summary of the show. Best place to watch. There's a search engine there. You can put any subject, any person into there. You can say, I want to talk about housing, Arakawa, foolish jerks. They've been, anything you say is there and part of the voice of Maui. So when we have lots of candidates over lots of years, we see lots of things discussed. So this is Jason's voice of Maui filter for the last 30 years. And right now is most critical time ever. This is 2026, and what's happening in the election this year is really kind of unusual. We have 9 or 10 people running for mayor, including the current mayor, and the gal that was on council who's running for mayor, who suddenly, why didn't she stay all her council terms? Why is she in the middle of it jumping out to be mayor? Why are those two guys with big money, and there's another candidate that's gathered her resources, but more than anything, her experience and knowledge, and has taken on the big guys, if you will, that are in there, and that's P.DENISE COSTA. So many of you can probably read and see P.DENISE COSTA running for mayor of Maui County. We had a show, and I'm happy to have you here again.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it.
We had it early in the time. I've interviewed some of the other candidates for mayor, and clearly there's a big difference between you and your experience and some of these other people running. Some of them are like Travis Liggett is an excellent one. His focus on water and things. He's a very, very smart guy. And Joseph Moses is wild and out there, and has ideas that are really his brand of Need Maui County. We had a guy on my show yesterday named Les who's challenging the ethics of one of the guys, Tom Cook, who's running in Kihei, and because of working in the same industry as he's getting some kind of money at the same time while he's voting on construction. The words are out there. And this guy, Les, mentioned about you, and then thank you for watching my show. You guys see, this is Civil Beat. We are hoping to be in concert with other people that are in media to cover what we're doing, because we're just trying to get the message out there. Then he said some things about you and Hawaiians that I guess there was something on your website that wasn't authorized, and I don't know where he picked it up, but he said something. What happened there?
He referred to, he said that I referred to the Hawaiians as akin to the KKK.
Oh, I didn't even hear that. Really?
Yeah, I heard that, and I did a double take. So a couple of things. There was a post that referred to me, and it sounded as though I'm the one who said it.
Oh.
I would never say such horrible things because of the, what everyone thinks of the KKK between the hoods and the sheets, and likening the Hawaiians to them. There are some radical groups among Hawaiians. There are radical groups among every people, but the vileness and the lawlessness that is associated with the KKK, I would never put the Hawaiians in the KKK. So it was said by someone, and it appeared to be coming from me, which it never was.
Good.
To me, that's just despicable. They're just horrendous, horrible creature.
And there's been strong-arm things. I remember early on, after the fire, it was reported to me that certain of the groups wanted to block out other groups, and they were some Hawaiians that were very close-knit and were, it appeared to some that they represented, or they alleged to represent more than they were.
Correct.
And so lots of news going around. I know you lots of years, and you've been a beautiful, happy, friendly totally friend of the Hawaiian people that you've been around and everything.
Yeah.
And you've been, anyway, it's one of those rumors. You know, there's stuff that I've seen going on in promotion about different candidates. You've had some truths out, some serious truths about some of the people in our government.
I just tell the truth. People don't like facts.
I know,
When
I see.
there's someone who's a good friend of yours, or you perceive because you've known them or known of them for so many years, and it's brought to your attention that they're the ones who have increased the budget 46% over the last 3 years, and you say, oh, no, that can't possibly be. But when you look at the black and white of it, that is indeed what has happened with the budget and chair. 46.7% in 3 years, and that's one of the reasons.
Say that slower so I understand what you said.
Okay, so in the last 3 years, since Ms. Gamora has been in charge of the budget, she is chair of Budget and Finance and Economic Development, our budget has increased 46.7%, and Mr. Bisson has signed off on all of those budgets.
Were they related mostly to the rehabilitation and reconstruction of Lahaina and Kula?
No, they were not, because federal money came in. We got $1.6 billion in block grants from the federal government. The budget prior to the fire was $1.53 billion. It is now $1.6 billion. And we have about 165,000 people who live in Maui County. So I'm not sure why it is so much. I've looked at it and it just makes me shake my head. But I am going to do a forensic audit on day one. I'm going to order it done so we see where all of our money is going. I just don't think that a county our size has any need for a $1.6 billion budget, which means you pay more, I pay more, and people are having to work 2 and 3 jobs just to be able to stay here because everything has gotten so darn expensive just in the last 3 years.
I'm not defending it, but I'm curious, like, many groups ask the county for money, and so the county is big on grants and matching funds and things. That's what I often think it is. I always watching why I never heard that the mayor was $247,000 a year. How did that get so big? And all the council stuff.
Yeah. So when I brought that up, that he actually gave himself an $85,000 raise, he now makes more than the vice president and more than the governor. They said, yeah, but he's not the one who gave himself a raise, but he is the one who appointed all of the people who sit on the salary commission. And then what they decide goes to the council, and the council agrees. Conversely, the council has also given themselves a raise, so now they make over $100,000 a year. It just seems to me that that's a lot of money, and if you're giving yourself a raise, is it because you did such a great job with the floods or the fires? That rhetorical question, obviously.
Oh yeah, that old rhetorical question.
Yeah.
Those problems aren't really solved yet.
No,
I mean,
my town is still, I'm from Lahaina. I've been here 36 years, for those of you who don't know me. I did not fall off the pineapple truck yesterday, but when the pineapples did fall off, when I first moved here, we would jump out of the car and grab them and eat them. I miss Maui Land and Pine for that reason.
yeah, I remember going out there too.
Yeah.
I remember getting my cart full of red dust.
Snitching the pineapples.
You know, we've been here long enough to see Maui change, and the biggest thing I see now, and I really know, you were on the planning commission, so something has to be proposed for it to be moved on, right?
Correct.
So we see upper end people proposing and planning and doing this thing about Wailea 670 and the thing about the Blue Rock area that has to be blown out, that the law was changed to give them I call it a weasel clause again. They have a way to weasel out of paying. What are we going to do about this kind of thing? How are we going to take some more up-end creation of lower projects? Do you see any groups that are doing that? Do we have any kind of boilerplate or alternative housing plans? I always wonder, how could we not house all these people here when we can do it in a foreign country, put up tents and create cities and nothing? Why can't we do that here?
We don't do it here because there is no political will to do it. When Mr. Bisson first ran against Mr. Victorino, he promised affordable housing. He said, that's one of the things I'll be sure and do. Fire came, 3 years came, 3.5 years came, still no affordable housing. So that promise was made and never delivered upon. I have a plan called Homes Together, and what I will do is I will use the property tax revenue from short-term vacation rentals. Bill 9 will go away, and I will tell you why before you get all excited about, oh no, we have to get rid of the short-term vacation rentals. So the revenue from the short-term vacation rentals will be used to fund my first-time home buyers down payment assistance program of up to $80,000. And then there is money also available from the state and county that could be up to $110,000 for first-time home buyers. And it is a grant, it is not a loan. In that program, there also is some rent gap assistance. So up to $500 for up to 3 years for families who maybe they have a couple, 3 kids and they can't live in a 1-bedroom, but that's all they can afford. So why should the kids or the parents have to sleep on the floor because they can't afford it? So that $500 will actually help them get into a 2 or maybe even a 3-bedroom unit depending upon where it is and what it costs. So it's a handout. It's not a handout, it's a hand up. So
and even in that, our prices here are crazy because of the lack of numbers of available units.
Correct. Yep.
So I know I'm a broken record, but I've seen people, I've been here a long time enough. I've been out in Walo and Haiku and all these areas that people live in a different way. They have central kitchen, central bathrooms, and I want to say outhouses, clusters of bedroom things. They don't need to necessarily be as built out structures forever. Power can be created in so many alternative ways now for off the grid. There was a guy that was at Earth Day named Alan Tratner, Professor Alan Tratner, who's putting in for a grant to build affordable, self-sustained housing. We see this big celebration because in the West Side, the workers have built a thing that's going to be self-sustained for them to stay in. They celebrate things that they need to get moving on stuff. Things take so long to put into action here.
They do. So as far as the affordability of the new housing, so I have been talking with several developers, a couple here and a couple on the mainland. And again, don't get all excited about when I talk about mainland. I am looking for affordability, and there are ways to build homes here. Nice little homes, whether they're cottage homes, like some people who are single say, I just want a 2-bedroom, but I want my home. I don't want to live in a condo. So there are several proposals that I have been looking at that are little cottage homes, and they're little communities. As far as the concept you were talking about, the central kitchen, the central meeting area, that is a plan that Aloha Ranch has for folks who are working but unfortunately are living in their cars because they're not making enough. So I want to put villages together also for them so that they don't have to sleep in their car. Why would you look at places to have safe parking areas that you don't get hassled by the police? Why wouldn't you provide housing for people who are working 8 to 12 hours a day instead of saying, here, go sleep in your car because it's safe here? I will not put up with that. I will not allow people to live in their cars.
Well, and you follow through with that next step, which is temporary. Get them in housing. Create this house. I've seen numbers of very affordable living environments that can be done at a fraction.
Yeah. And if the county, so think about this, if you have a private public partnership where the county provides the land, and we all know we have a lot of land in this county that is buildable, that are not wetlands and not in flood zones, because you can't build in those. Kihei found that out after the fact, sadly. So you build those places, and people have, where was I going? Oh yeah, sorry, I was going to say, we got distracted by the
suddenly
the
noise.
Yeah. So, again, I got distracted because he's kind of cute. Oh, sorry.
It's kind of loud to us.
I'm old enough to be his grandma, but he's still kind of cute. So if the county provides the land and does the basic infrastructure, then the developer can come in and build. They can do it more expeditiously. They can do it shovel ready, and then the buildings can go on, so their permits can be processed more quickly. The cost will be less because they are not going to have all of that interest going on with the loans while they do the site work and do the infrastructure. In the meantime, all of those expenses get added to the price of homes.
So it can be done a lot
if it's
less
shovel ready,
expensively.
come in and build, and under 500,000 is affordable.
When you were on the planning commission, I imagine you learned a lot more than you even thought you would, right?
Correct.
And so you are coming shovel ready to a program to be able to really dig in and get this going on.
Correct.
Go ahead.
I also have 34 years of real estate experience. And again, before you give me hoo-hoo, because these are the things people give me hoo-hoo about, then understand that as a professional realtor and broker, I have the experience of getting families into homes. Who better to get families into homes than someone who's done it professionally for 34 years? So rather than go, oh, we don't want a realtor, my license will be inactive, so you don't have to worry about any kind of conflict of interest, because I would never go there. But I do know how to get housing projects done. I work for GECC Financial in their commercial and construction division as their neighbor island manager. And so I know how to do all kinds of things. And planning gave me a background how the county worked. I've run several small businesses very successfully. And so, yeah, I didn't fall off the pineapple truck last night.
Well, I am really glad to, I have the tendency to try to slow someone down. And I'm slowing you down only in that I want people to hear and see.
Sorry.
No, seriously. Some people process more slowly, but like you were sharing about people that you come upon when you're going out looking and talking to people in houses, there are a lot of very tender hearts that you take the time this morning to hear stories of people that are struggling under situations now and need that hand up, that are doing their very best and trying. This was Hawaiian family, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, Hawaii. Here in Hawaii, if you look to your left or look to your right, we're all people. We're all the same people. It doesn't matter from where we came, where our parents were born, what color we are. What matters is what is in our heart. Because you can have someone who born raised here or born raised on the mainland, and if Maui is their central place of love, then they can work together to make it Maui no Ka'oi. I want to bring the joy back in the no Ka'oi, because it's been missing. We've all been hurt so badly between COVID and our fire, and I do live in Lahaina, that we need to come back together and have some joy and have some unity. And I don't care what color you are, I don't care what church you go to, or if you don't. What counts is what is in your heart. How do you treat other people? Because we're all here to help each other, and that's what we need to do to get Maui back together, get our homes built, get our families back here from the mainland. That's my whole goal. I am in this race out of necessity. Never been a politician, never had any aspirations to be a politician. But I went down to Lahaina one day when a friend was visiting, and I just stood there and I cried. And it still makes me verklempt, because nothing is being done. Well, one lot is being grubbed and graded. Mr. King's got his permit to do that. Our town should already have been started to be rebuilt. There's no reason why commercial and residential cannot be built at the same time. And if you say, oh, there aren't enough workers, workers will come if you have the work. And we need to get Lahaina up and running, because it provided about 37% of the entire island's revenue.
Wow.
So think about that. What I've heard from several people, from Puamana to the old chart house, $8 to $10 million a day in revenue, because people came to Maui to go to Lahaina and walk the streets and feel the funky vibe and sit on the ocean and have a cocktail or lunch. They didn't come to go to the Andaz or Kanakali or,
Right.
They came to see Lahaina.
Lahaina was the center of
the
Yeah.
first capital. Yep.
Wow, I miss Lahaina too, because I got here in '88, and I lived in Lahaina. That's right. And '91 I moved to Kula. Both areas. You know, I've really enjoyed living in Maui, and you know, I've talked about it so many times. It's just old. We have opportunities. Many years now, I've been putting out the message, but really didn't have too much of a chance. Now, the climate in our community and what's happening right now, someone with knowledge and experience like you has a chance. That's the thing. That's long shot about, you know, you have less money, but to get the message out, that's why I want to do and give an opportunity to someone that knows how to run the ball.
Yeah, I've been a quarterback in several companies, and I love football too.
Well, you appreciate what I'm saying. That,
Yeah.
like when I look at these different races, some of the people running, Kelly King or James Forrest out in Wailuku or others, they can hit the ground running on moving and working in coordination with a cooperative mayor
And Council, yeah.
can make this thing happen in a hurry and
Yep.
solve these problems in a hurry and have the whole world saying yes, 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 not only by coming here, but we'll be the model to duplicate because we are doing it with aloha and doing it in an inclusive model, someone that gets on. I don't really know why the mayor, only reason I think the mayor doesn't get to those priorities is because we have a mess in a lot of areas here.
Yes, yeah.
So the greatest laid plans, I know that when you get in, you probably say, well, we still have to handle the water problem, we still have to handle the sewer problem, we have to handle there's a lot of different areas.
A lot of different areas. Yep.
Do you have people in mind already for your cabinets, or I imagine you're always looking, but
So, as far as folks for the cabinet, first of all, you must be qualified. I have no relatives here. I have dear friends. Most of them are retired and they have no interest in going back to work. But if you are qualified, then I want to talk to everybody. Just because you've had a position doesn't mean that you're going to be able to stay there. If you're qualified and you're the best person that I feel to keep the ship going in the right direction, then by all means. If you are in a position because you're someone's aunt, uncle, niece, nephew, whatever, and you're not qualified but you just got lucky because of nepotism, that doesn't work for me. You mentioned earlier about the funds. I have put my life savings into this race. That's how important it is to me. I am not backed by any unions. I'm not endorsed by any special interests. Those folks have to look after the people who fund their races. I have to look after nobody except everybody on Maui. So I have nobody to hand a contract to because they're not giving me money. I have no one to worry about, gee, am I going to offend them if I say this, because they're not giving me money. So I have 74 individuals who have given me money, and they're true believers in what I'm doing and know that I can move the county in the right direction and not just say, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. If I say it, it will get done, unless I get pushback from people and special interests who don't want it done, because sadly there's a lot of that, which is why I don't have their endorsements, because I don't kiss the ring. I think that the people who pay me, I'm a public servant. I'm not a politician. Like I said, never been in politics, never wanted to be. But Maui needs to be fixed. So I'm the girl to fix them, or the woman, or the chick, or the wahine, or, you know.
or the PD. I've heard a lot of
PD.
PDs. Yeah,
Yeah.
PD.
Not P. Diddy.
P.DENISE LaCosta,
Not
not
P.
P.
Diddy.
Diddy. Oh,
People used to call me that because my name is P.DENISE, right? So they would call me P.D. or P. Diddy. So it was okay until he went to jail, and now it's like, no, not P. Diddy.
Is he even called P. Diddy anymore? Probably not, right?
I think he's called, is he Sean Combs? Is that the guy, Sean Combs? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now he's called inmate number 16704.
And number 167.
Or whatever.
I'm fooling.
Yeah.
I'm very thankful that we have enough time to put this message out again, because what do they say in advertising? Top of mind advertising. Another touch, right?
Yeah.
Another touch. It's important for people to see P.DENISE COSTA.
Yeah.
Look up what she says, see what she says, and see if what she says matches you. And if it does, we have someone ready, willing, and able to assume the position.
Yes, and I encourage you to read the voters pamphlet, read about all of the candidates for every office, and make sure, like Jason said, that your thoughts and aloha align with theirs, that it's not just rhetoric, that it's not just, oh, here's a pretty picture, this is affordable housing. Everything I've said is in black and white on my website, so please look at my YouTube, my Facebook.
Give us some names. Let's see some. How do you find you?
Mayor LaCosta 2026. MayorLaCosta2026.com is my website. I'm on Facebook and Instagram and Threads, and it's Mayor LaCosta 2026.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, and so I've had some people go, why are you calling yourself mayor? Well, it says elect Mayor LaCosta 2026, right? So elect is a verb, mayor is an adjective, LaCosta is the noun, and 2026 is an adjective. So if you want to do it structurally, sentence-wise, that's what it is. But the power of positive thinking is what put me to Mayor LaCosta 2026.
And I like, go ahead.
I know, and I have been guided by a force stronger than I, for whatever you put that. I was lifted out of my chair and I was told, you will run for mayor. And so here I am, and I will get the job done, believe me, because I get stuff done. I converted real quickly.
Please.
I brought a company back from the verge of bankruptcy to being sold for $100 million. It was a touring company. It no longer exists. It was in Tacoma, Washington. I tried to find it on the internet, but that was in the late 70s, early 80s, and we just didn't have that technology. So I went in and redid all the processes, got new supply chains, did a whole revamping, moved them out of the facility where they were into another one that was much more efficient at that time, energy efficient, and closer to the port so that the import-export fees were less, the fuel costs were less, and got a nice bonus for that, and took my mom everywhere in the world she wanted to go.
Wow.
So,
And Maui is the place that everyone should and wants to go now. And I'd like to see Maui turn around, if you will, and start to prioritize local affordable housing growth as a priority. And when Wailea 670 pays for the $100 million I want to see that road widened. It's like forever we're watching this area between Maui Meadows and Wailea blocked.
so the Wailea 670, Pu'una, I think it's called now, has been on the books for 35 years. The 5 years I sat on planning, we heard it about 10 times, I think. Then some things were rolled back, so I haven't seen the final number of affordable housing was rolled back. That was the one time that if you did vote yes, is when they finally got down to only 200 from 788. She voted no on every other affordable housing project that there was that has been presented. These are facts, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't yay. You need to research the people who are running.
Yeah.
Please, you have got to do that, because just because you know their name and you think, oh, they're the person for whom I'm going to vote, who's going to get the job done? Why hasn't the job been done in 10 years? You know? I mean,
These are really good questions.
I'm here out of necessity. I'm not here for any reason other than Maui needs to be back to Maui. We need to have families in homes. The North-South Collector Road has to be finished. So the Planning Commission approved that and then moved it up to the department. And then all of a sudden, instead of you must do your portion of the North-South Collector Road in Kihei if you want to do development, the words were changed to you are encouraged to do your portion. So that's one of the reasons that North-South Collector is not done. Another reason was that developers were given the option to put in funds for affordable housing instead of actually having to build them, which was the original intent of the Affordable Housing Fund. So why would you do that? Why would you spend the money if you could just give somebody some, a couple $1 million and go on your merry way, and in the meantime, what's happened to that fund? So
We don't want that one to be drowned out. So I'm going to stop for a second and we'll ask that question again. Why would you not just wait and have the restrictions lessened? And that really is just unbelievable. And just waiting and then pay someone. Why would someone like Tom Cook not be more transparent about taking money from a construction outfit and a hauling company when he's voting? That's that critical 5-4 vote again. Our council is so difficult in having to deal with this. You can come in with great intentions, but you have to get others to agree with you.
Yeah, and it is, again, vote. We need to get a fire hose or a gigantic broom and get rid of the people who are not moving our county forward. If you have issues with one of the people running for mayor or council members or state representative or state senator, then attend their little soirees or rallies. Reach out to them and ask them. If they don't answer you, can you depend upon them to do the job they say they're going to? Everybody who reaches out to me, everybody, gets a phone call, a text, or an email, however they reach out to me. Or, like this morning, I was having breakfast and I introduced myself to a lady and she said, promise me that you will build affordable housing so that my kids can stay at home. And then she burst into tears and said, I'm born and raised here, Hawaiian. And she said, my kids have all moved away. And she said, please, I cannot let my grandkids move away. And she started to cry. And we sat down and we talked for about half an hour about what I was going to do with my homes together and building new homes. And she reached across the table and she said, God bless you. And I promise you that I am going to do what I say I'm going to do. We need a council that will work together instead of this. Get rid of the special interests, the personal interests in the council, and let's get Maui going. We have to, because if we don't, this is not egotistical, honest to goodness, it is not. If I am not elected your mayor, the economic spiral downward that we're in is going to get worse. It has been proven over the last 3 years. It has gone up 46.7%. What do you think is going to happen if the same leadership, using the term loosely, is in office? And what do you folks get for it? You're working 2 jobs or maybe 3 jobs because you can no longer afford it? Go on my website and look at my cost catalog. Reducing gas prices in the county, I can. Reducing registration fees on vehicles, I can. After the forensic audit, we're going to look at the millions of dollars that are wasted, that are budgeted for jobs that have not been filled for years. I can. We're going to get it back together, and I'm going to make sure that Maui doesn't survive but thrives. We've got to. That's why we live here.
And as much as she says she's going to do it, it takes you and me holding her feet to the fire, just like we were talking about the people that are in office now.
Yep.
If we're not up and out and involved, so I intend to stay public like I am. But when I say hold your feet to the fire, I'm going to try to cook your feet the right way. We should all be not only asking of you, but being available and helping. That's where that cooperation is going to come to, and that's where the world is going to see how we are going to fly.
So as far as we're talking about that, I'm going to have a Meet the Mayor like every 2 weeks, whether it's a coffee shop or my office or a park, and have people come chat with me. Because if you have problems, then you probably have solutions, or at least have an idea how to fix them. So let's work together to get those things done. Speed bumps, yeah. Speed bumps is a whole nother conversation. I don't know who has that contract. I don't know if it's poor engineering and that's why they need it. I don't know if someone called and said, people go by my house 35 miles an hour, that's too fast. When the speed limit is 35, I want a speed bump. But I get probably 5 people a day saying, please do something about the speed bumps.
Wow.
So remember, I cannot do anything now, but once I'm in office, I'm going to have all of the speed bumps assessed. Do we need one every 100 feet, 100 yards? Yes, where pedestrians are concerned. Yes, where schools are concerned. Yes, where there's high traffic, but not in the middle of Haiku's road to Pukolani. I counted 38.
No kidding.
38 of them, yeah. So what does that do to undercarriages? What does that do to tires? And what does that do for emergency services? Ambulances come and they have to stop and go over them. Fire trucks, police officers. Someone's life could definitely, be in the balance, and they couldn't get there quickly enough because of them. So speed bump happy doesn't make everybody happy. They tell me, yeah.
Does it take, I guess it does. Does it take the mayor getting involved? Aren't these people that are running these departments hearing all the outcry? Why isn't there some action? Why aren't they hiring people that know how to act before the big guy, a big gal, has to be involved? That to me is the scariest part. Where are we finding people that don't know to take right action? Like in this situation with the fire, I just don't really know details, but I just get this thing about chain of command and who knows how to run in the field is a big deal. So
it's a huge deal. And the other thing that is really important is that all of our emergency services will be redundant. We will have backup emergency communications. We will have drills so that we can pretend that something is happening, a disaster is happening, so that we are forearmed instead of surprised, because God help us, not another fire, but we all know the climate is warming, the grasses are getting tender, and we need to be prepared for anything that happens rather than going, oh my gosh, what do we do now? And on that day, even though red flag had been up for 3 days prior, there wasn't anybody on island, is what I've been told by more than one source, to handle that emergency. So it was, it was the dog chasing its tail, and sadly we lost 102 or more people that day, and it will not happen under my watch. The fire plan that was instituted in 2018 is going to be implemented. And this is crazy, and I haven't checked with anyone, but I'm going to say it anyway because I get crazy ideas and I just spew them, and somebody goes, yeah, it's great. Or, yeah, I don't think so. So how about the lower offenders that are in MCCC and have them do the fire mitigation with weed whackers and that kind of thing, and give them a day off their sentence for every day that they work in the field? I mean, it might sound kind of crazy, but it might work. And that's part
well,
of
and
it,
then maybe when they come out, they can get jobs.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, we have all these things that have to be done. I believe that if we can create, food, shelter, what's the other one? Clothes. On an island, on a trade basis, we can value people and the quality of living can go up, and cash and trade combination giving advantage toward local people. There's so many little things, like lower the price and create more services on a trade basis to give people that would be a great thing, and also give people pride. Getting out of a situation like MCCC there's what do you do with people when they get out of prison?
Give them another chance. If they are worthy.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Give them another. So let's talk
That's
about
a good
agriculture.
thing. Please.
So we have fabulous farmers here, but the farmers struggle. They have to put all this money up front for seeds and for equipment and everything else. So I want to give farmers a grant, not a loan, a grant of $100,000 or whatever their farm is, except Mahi Pono because they have plenty of money, and so that they can grow. They can grow things. They can grow food for the people here. If we have another barge, strike.
So that's a really interesting subject to explore. That's probably more than a handful. Like you just picked a dollar amount. But like you said, there's common things that are needed by a lot of farms, and where's the output going, and how do we get priority? Yeah. So if you give a grant, do you get priority? Maybe not. The subjects are so fun about, do you do projects that are going to be, there are so many things going on in so many areas to make our farms could be the best in the world.
We have fabulous soil.
We have a guy like
great
Larry Ellison with Lanai,
Yep.
that whole thing they're doing there, and they've stumbled and fallen on their face a couple of times. What's going to happen when we team up with them? See, there are so many solutions that are
Lots
at
of
hand
things, yes, and we
that can happen
yeah.
when we are all in a game together and don't put up these walls. Why isn't the money from a Larry Ellison or Jeff Bezos or Pierre and all these other wealthy people available? Because we're helping them and others. We have to get away from us and them concepts.
And in every aspect,
every
we have
aspect.
to get away from them and us. We can no longer be divided. It doesn't matter, again, where you're born or what you look like. You are no better than me, no better than them, no better than them. We're all in this together. And if we work together, and you talked about Bezos and Ellison, if you knock on their door, I bet they would listen. If you extended yourself and say, hey, you know what, you're doing a great job here, come show us how to do this on Maui, instead of saying, we don't need you, we don't need you.
Well, we
That
have
would make a
ideas
huge
that can
difference.
help you. I mean, if you were Larry Ellison, and I'm using it as an example, and you have such ownership already in Lanai, and your pledge is to do things for the environment, and you can do things that will help all of Maui, that you can do things that would also be able to help establish the local Hawaiian element, and your money, it's a trifle, but what it can do to create this whole thing being to your advantage. I don't want an us and them scenario, and I'm ready to try to break that wall down every way I can.
Yeah, me too. I'm sick of the division. You know, about inclusiveness. I have friends across every spectrum. It doesn't matter, again, religion, sex. I don't care what it is. If you are pure of heart and do the best you can every day, that's what's important. And reaching out to folks, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to go to Larry and say, show us what you're doing and come help us, because you've got several $1 billion and, you know, we could maybe use a little tiny bit of it. But let's go back to the ag for a second. So I'm also going to do a public-private partnership for a cold storage facility. I have companies on the mainland that I've been speaking with, so I've been doing a lot of research so that when I am there, I can hit the ground running and we can get these programs implemented and things going immediately instead of taking a year to figure out what's going on. So this facility that makes perfect sense for Maui. It's about 100,000 square feet. It has 10 different temperature zones. So you can pick a lettuce today and literally it can still be good in 6 to 8 weeks because of the different temperatures, and there's no chemicals involved. I visited one of the plants on the mainland. It employs up to about 100 people, paying really good wages, and the farmers can take their produce and the meat, like the deer, and put it in the cold storage. I spoke with the owner of one of them, and he said he definitely would do kama'aina, have manini storage fees, so that most of it goes back to the farmers. So I'm working on ways to make it much more affordable here, and that's one of the ways. If we have food that is contained and that can stay fresh longer, then we can not only import it in larger quantities because it can be stored, we can also encourage our farmers to grow more and feed us.
My mind is just drifting. I hate to say it, so long ago we could have been doing stuff. Thermoacoustic, a solar thermoacoustic cooler dryer to keep produce fresher in the field and be able to, so that before they come to market, they can stay fresh. All these ideas together create so much abundance and success we can share with the world.
Yep. And see,
That's what we want.
Yeah, just talking here, it's like, oh, what about this and what about that? I never want to be the smartest person in the room, because if I am, I'm in the wrong room.
That's right.
You surround yourself with people who are much smarter than you. Not only do you look good, but you get so much more done because their ideas, places I've never gone before, experience I don't have.
And that's what I'd like to see in our mayor also, myself, is communicating that. There needs to be a better voice of proactive, kind of keeping track of what the mayor is doing, so that we all can feel like we want to be involved. It's almost like a daily routine. It's like breakfast with the mayor.
I like that. I like that better than sitting in the park.
Okay.
See, collaboration.
No, but I mean, just realize that that's the thing we always see. An integrated action plan has many more hands, many more people doing it, where things can accelerate because we cooperate instead of, somehow the word compete always goes into money. Yeah. But we don't have to, we on an island that we could do it all here.
There are
and make it comfortably affordable for people who are living here and be a beautiful place for people to visit. You know, there are things going on in medical. Again, we could be a high-end medical facility for aging. They're the people with the money anyway, right? We are set up to do great things and bring a lot. Yeah, that's right. I'm a 75-year-old youngster,
he's older than I am. So.
I'm old.
So, West Side Medical. We need a hospital. Yes, I know Kaiser's rebuilding the facility, but we need an actual hospital in West Maui. When my mom lived with me, I was so blessed. She lived with me for 4.5 years before she got her angel wings. She almost died one time going to the hospital because of how long it took. And if we had a facility in West Maui, then it wouldn't have been nearly as, the pandemonium and the panic that I felt. But we need to have a facility in West Maui. And the land is there, it's been gifted. It's gonna be about $20 million. There's $200 million sitting in a carryover fund doing nothing. And that forensic audit is gonna help me dig out a lot more money, and we're gonna get services for the folks who live here, and we're gonna get, you can breathe. You don't have to worry about what am I going to do? Because so many people are one paycheck away from living in their car, and that's not right.
Sure is.
And I swear to you, again, raise my right hand. I had a Bible, I put it on there. I will do everything to make sure Maui families are thriving here, and they're happy again. And my quarterly mayors, I'm going to have fun days every quarter. We're going to have hot dogs and hamburgers, and do sack races and badminton and jumping castles, and just have families can just come sit in the park and just be on blankets or in chairs, have their kids play, and just relax.
And you were mentioning we're sitting in a place here, Maui Arts and Cultural Center, that has these kinds of events. So expect stuff here and at the hotels and all around, because when we all cooperate together, the quality of our lives is going to go up, and the quality of everything is going to go up, because our good attitude is infectious. And I think the world is waiting for new saviors, and it is us. Yeah. It is us. Yeah. Thank you for spending the time with me here.
Mahalo, I appreciate it very much.
And I hope all of you will come and check out MauiNeutralZone, and if you want to be on or you want to be contributing, please go and be part of what we're doing. We are very happy to say, I've been here so long. I sat right here.
Your beard's good, right?
That's right. I sat right here in this courtyard with President of Maui Electric, Tom Gizzerni. God, 34 years ago, 33. Well, it's time, everyone. It's time to take it to the next action step. P.DENISE for COSTA, running for Mayor, Maui County, 2026. It's been a pleasure again.
Thank you, Jason. And please remember, register and vote. If you're not registered, you can go on my website and you can register. Doesn't mean you have to vote for me, but I'd love it if you did. But please, this is the most important election that we're going to face for decades, and we have got to turn this county around. It is going that way instead of going that way. And let's work together and make it go that way, because we're better together.
Little can I say to add to that. Have a good day. We'll see you back here at the MauiNeutralZone.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Welcome to MauiCoastProperty.com. This visor is our latest innovation. It gives you a whole new view of the future. Experience it now.
Aloha! Support the Maui Neutral Zone. Get affordable visibility for your business. Help us build a searchable archive for our community. Strengthen Maui. Become a founding sponsor today.